What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself, having a late night live feed with you guys, talking about different types of working capital. Being swamped all day. My baby boy had a music recital with the concert band, so your boy got in the lab late. But I did want to share this information with you guys. I was thinking about doing it on tomorrow, but I didn't necessarily want to wait to the end. So again, I just want to have a quick live feed with you guys this evening to discuss different types of working capital. You know, we're done with tax season, and a lot of people have been coming to me because they get that summertime fever, want to start a business up, but they're currently in business. They're going through them little issues in regards to, hey, you know, coming out of this season or finna enter into a different season, and they're trying to figure out how to get some kind of cash infusion or some kind of money in the fold to help them get over the hump, be it to get started with a particular cycle that's coming in, or how to, you know, make it over particular shortcomings that they may have. So what we're going to discuss this evening, the different types of working capital loans, okay? And theoretically, guys, when we talk about working capital is any kind of money that you need to work, to keep your business open, keep your business functioning. And it may be, again, just to have keep it from closing. It may be just maintaining operations, to do a different objectives, i.e. advertising, i.e. marketing, i.e. to hire new staff in to, you know, to increase revenue or keep things going, however it is. But working capital is, like, you know, just like it sounds, some kind of cash infusion in to keep work going along, okay? And again, there's different forms, different types of working capital. So that's why I want to have that live feed with you guys this evening to discuss it. Again, I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. We having a live feed on Mr. Short Dollar right now. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. No matter what platform that you guys are looking at, remember the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel is the main hub where all the information is there. So even if you come in late, it just came in, or if you got to leave out in the middle of this live feed, whatever you're looking at, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. You always better see this video in its entirety. Hold on one second, guy. RCG, are you familiar with SSB CI loans? I didn't know what the acronym stands for. I apologize. Type it out, and I might be able to tell you if I'm familiar with it or not. But it's right with acronyms. No, I'm not familiar with it. Just type out what the acronyms are. I was asked am I familiar with SSB CI loans? But just type it up, and I'll be able to let you know if I'm familiar with it or not. But again, the main hub is the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel, where we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. We got over 700 videos on the YouTube channel covering personal finance, business, business operation, business management, business funding. We have a grant playlist, active grant playlist with over 150 grant opportunities. I know last week we introduced 3 different grant opportunities for everybody to take advantage of. So make sure, again, you go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and take advantage of the great information that's on there. And again, tonight, what I want to discuss with you guys is types of different working capital. Because like I said again before, working capital is just that, you know, any kind of infusion that you can get in to sustain your business or take on certain objectives. And a lot of times what happens is people don't necessarily, you know, anything can happen. You can have proper planning in as far as your funding and things, funding what have you rather, and you still miss out on certain things. You miss out on different objectives. Well, hey man, I forgot, you know, we didn't realize that, you know, certain supply chain costs went up. We forecasted wrong, so we're coming up short. Or you got a situation where be on an optimistic level. It could be a situation where you say, hey, listen, man, there are opportunities coming up in the next couple of months. If we increase productions or sales on certain items, we can take advantage of it. So you may need some kind of cash infusion to hire more people. You know, we talk about that all the time, getting access to capital when you don't need it. A lot of times people be in business, I don't want to borrow money, I don't want to do this, and everybody's looking for grants, which I always tell you people, that's a great thing to look for, but at the end of the day, grants going to be extremely hard to get. Why? Because it's free money, and everybody and their mama want free money they don't have to pay back. So that's why it's always going to be difficult to get grants. But there are so many other products that you can take advantage of. Yeah, you do have to pay people back, but again, if you're in business, guys, we got to understand something very clearly. I get calls all the time. People want somebody to fund their dream or fund their business without them having some kind of skin in the game. I mean, I don't know. You can't live in the fantasy world. If you want people to give you funding and give you access to capital, you got to be able to, give to get. So you got to assume some kind of risk with doing it, and you got to have your ducks in a row to be able to do it. So what I did want to talk with you guys tonight, and hey RC Junior, hey, listen, just put the acronym in there. So guys, feel free, if you got any question, anything like that, put your question in the chat, and I'll try my best to answer them. And if not, I can kind of look it up to see if I can answer it for you. Okay, so that's what we in here tonight. Again, we're talking about working capital. So again, we'll talk about the different types of working capital. And the first one I want to talk about is term loans. One thing I do want to do while I'm on this, let me put that in the chat, guys. The only thing about it when I'm streaming TikTok and Instagram, because I can't tie that into the StreamYard, I won't be able to put you guys, and you won't be in the chat. I'm chatting with you individually. What's going on? Was it Ruben Aguilar? Hey, appreciate you tuning in. I won't be able to put you into the chat. I'm talking to you live, but again, there are some things I can do on the normal chat that I won't be able to do on Instagram and TikTok. But I just want to let you guys know that. And before I get started with talking about the different kind of working capital products, guys, I do have several videos on the YouTube channel covering, business loans 101, business financing 101. So that's what I'm finna try to pull up right now. I'll do that. I want to pull that up right now so I can actually put the link for those particular videos in the chat. So give me 1 second. I'm going to try to pull that up. Let me see if I can pull those particular videos up. Okay. That, guys, like I said, feel free if you got any question, anything like that, put it into the actual chat, and I get with you. Let me see what that is. One. There we go. Okay, I got 2 videos. Business credit and loans 101. Lord. I'm sorry, business credit and loans 101. And the actual, that's the same video. That's not what I wanted. Let me get here so I can get back onto that. Business funding 101. Bear with me 1 second. I just want to catch this for one live. Okay, cool. I'll put both of those in the actual chat that's on the StreamYard, but I get that back with you guys. But again, tonight we're talking about working capital loans, different types of working capital loans. And the first one I want to discuss is term loans. And pretty much what a term loan is, like it sounds, it's a term loan. It's a loan that's given out and specified over a particular point of time. Typically with term loans, they're fixed. So the actual dollar amount that you're borrowing, i.e. for easy explanation, let's say $1,000, is set on a term. It may be 1, 3, 5, 10 years, and it's at a fixed rate typically, right? It's typically at a fixed rate, okay? Sometimes you may have some loans that are prime plus over a certain time, but it's still maybe somewhere in that ballpark where it may increase a little bit with the prime as the prime rate increase or decrease. So you may have some fluctuation, but for the most part, a term loan is a loan that's set at a fixed rate over a fixed amount over, that being the term, particularly at the same price. And the thing with a term loan, we're talking about working capital. It's a good thing to have. The issue that comes up, you may borrow more than what you need, or you may not borrow enough, depending on what the situation is. And at the end of the day, if you don't borrow enough, you can be in a situation where you need to get more financing. You got this big loan still sticking out there, but it is a good option to have If you already know, okay, listen, I only need this, and that's all I need for this certain amount of time. I can pay this over a certain period, and I'll be good to go. When you are looking at the different loan products, when we're talking about term loans, we're going to talk about different kind of invoice factoring. We're going to talk about lines of credit. You kind of need to make sure you're very, very versed with the particular products. And let me put a link in the chat right now on you guys. This is business credit and loans 101. Explain the short dollar way. Put that on there. Let's see, put this on there for you guys. And let me see. I want to make sure I got this for you. See. See right here. That's not what I want. Let me. And I got the video, business credit and loans 101. Okay. Put that in there. And let me see. Then the other one is Small Business Funding 101, the short dollar way. We'll put both of those, the links to those in the chat. So again, if you are looking at TikTok and also on Instagram, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Go to the financing playlist. Again, go to the financing playlist. You'll see the link for all these videos for the credit 101 and also the small business funding 101. Both of the videos are in the financing playlist. You have access to both of them, and all the information is on both of those in the financing playlist. So we start talking again about term loans. Term loans, again, that's a loan that you can get that's a certain dollar amount at a certain rate and paid over a period of time. It's a good product to have, again, if you know exactly this is all you need. The issue you just need to make sure you're versed with other products and other options before you get tied in and locked into it. Because again, now the thing about it, now you're on the hook for borrowing, $100,000. We should use the $1,000 for the example. But if you don't need that particular money, now you're paying the cost to have that much money allocated out. So just be pretty versed with the different products, the different options that you have out there, okay? Because again, we want to get our business up and running, want to keep our business running, want to make sure we function. If we have opportunities to take advantage of that, we need access to capital before. We need to make sure we're taking advantage of that, and we don't necessarily want to be in a product that probably won't be the most advantageous for us. The next one is business lines of credit. Guys, you know what a business line of credit is. It's just more so that the lender is giving you access to a certain dollar amount of money. Now, here, the difference between the term loan and the business line of credit is that the business line of credit, you only have to pay, make payments towards the actual amount you borrow. So with the example we used earlier with the $1,000, with a line of credit, you have a line of credit of $1,000. You may only borrow $50 or $75. And for that point, you just need to make the payments on the amount of money you borrow, not the whole dollar amount of the line of credit. Okay. Great product to have. Typically one of the main costs you have, typically if you never use it, the lender may charge an annual fee to have it, but it's a great option to have the access to that particular those particular products. And the good thing about it, you can have several different lines of credits from different lenders or from the same lender. And like I always tell you guys, get access to capital when you don't need it. What we don't want to be in situations where things happen to us that can be kind of rough, or we get presented with an opportunity and we can't do anything because we don't have the money to do it, right? And it is when you're stressed, your money tight, you need to do certain things, you start making stress moves, i.e. bad loans, i.e. overextending ourselves, i.e. going to people that's going to be and asking them for help that's probably going to put us in a bad position with everything. So you got to be smart about that. So when you're calm and everything, guys, call those business bankers. Call those business bankers and have a conversation with them. Introduce them to who you are, what you're trying to do, what you may possibly want to do in the future. Even if you don't want to get the money at that particular time, we always want to get their relationship. When you try to borrow money, when you need to borrow money, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be stressed the hell out, filling out applications, nobody knows who you are. But if you go make an appointment with your business banker and several other business bankers, in your area, have conversation, introduce yourself, guys. Business is all about relationships. I'm telling you. And that's what you always want to do, guys. Me being, in business for myself, and a lot of times being a different liaison with different organizations, it behooves me to have those relationships with different lenders and different finances because sometimes, it may not necessarily be a product that I need for myself, but just say if I'm a board member doing certain things with other organizations, they may want the bank may want to have a relation with us so they can get exposure to the community. You may want to just say, even if you're doing something for your particular organization, you have their, partnership or relationship set up. So when you do need help, some kind of quick funding, some kind of access to different products that the bank may have is there. And you're not a stack. This part of the stack application is on their desk. Okay. So we want to make sure you got the relationships going. So again, that business line of credit is just the access to a certain amount of money, right? You don't have to borrow it. So again, you got a line of credit 1,000. You may only use $100 of it. You're only going to make the payments with interest payments towards the actual $100. Now that is more of a revolving piece of debt. That's not a fixed cost because that dollar amount can change because you have different things you can borrow and it's going at a different rate. So again, that's usually a revolving product as opposed to a term product where it's fixed in. Okay, just keep that in mind. We also have different products that you may have with the SBA. I've used several SBA 7 Alpha loans. I'm going to put the link to SBA.gov in the chat. I'm also going to, matter of fact, let's do a little screen share right quick. Go to SBA.gov and look at some of the products that they may have. Share screen. Yeah. And right here, we're looking at SBA.gov, Small Business Administration. There are a lot of different products for you guys to take advantage of with the SBA. I tell people all the time, like again, a lot of times people want to be weary about borrowing money, but that's why we get so much that people want to want grants and different opportunities. Guys, you got to understand, somebody can't be in love with your dream, your business idea more than you. So you got to make sure you just look at it from the perspective that if you want to actually make this dream come true and stuff, you got to make sure you got your ducks in the row to be able to take advantage of it. They have different products. Let me change this. I got another. Let's see. That way, man, I want to go to another. Go to another slide that was just tabbed. I was just looking at. Matter of fact. These different working capital products in regards to that, we're just looking at 3 ways working capital for business, got alternative funding. And I'll go into a little bit more depth, but you can always go to SBA.gov, guys. I'm always going to remind you guys, Google SBA.gov or Google SBDC, Small Business Development Center. And what it is guys, most of your SBDCs are in partnership with the SBA. That's you at the local or state level. Get out this big head guy. Most of the SBDC, Small Business Development Centers, are partnered with the SBA, and they have programs set up. Most of the time, they're free of charge. Give federal tax dollars pay for them, where you can get your actual counselor or coach, and they'll let you know all the different products that you may have on the federal level to get funded and things like that. Typically, you're gonna have to have your ducks in a row to get certain things done, i.e., some kind of experience, maybe some things that some rules in regards to credit and things like that, but it varies. But at the end of the day, it costs you then to have a conversation to find out what's going on. The problem that comes up a lot of times with people not necessarily want to use the SBA is because it's kind of like, I don't say it's a tedious or long process, but it's a process. And a lot of times people have to understand that just when you're ready to do something, that don't necessarily mean it's going to, happen that way. And you just got to be real with yourself. If your ducks ain't in a row, you need some help to get everything done. You just got to kind of, move accordingly with that. So I wouldn't make forced moves that don't necessarily need to be made because, you ain't got the patience to do that. Okay. You guys got any question in regards to working capital or, short-term finance, anything like that? Feel free to put your questions in the chat. I got you covered. The next product I want to talk about is invoice finance or factoring. Invoice finance or factoring used a lot in the trucking industry. Sometimes people, what it is most of people front you, a vendor, whoever is fronting you, your actual revenue based off the actual invoice you have coming towards you. Um, uh, I'm thinking I've had a lot of transportation companies that use it. Also, it's used often with staffing companies where you may have a lender that you're building certain. If you own a staffing company and you're building these particular companies, typically if the company is actually a steady company or some kind of stated contract or something like that, you can get some kind of invoice factoring where again they're paying that forward minus a particular fee that they may charge. So if you're, especially if in a contract, you got a contract with Comcast, you got a contract with Coke, where driving trucks and things like that, you can actually, you use those particular products, and they can actually, pay forward on you. Okay, Sean Godfrey, I appreciate it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like the. It's not a bad thing, but I don't like to, promote different companies. You were saying that with the factoring company to use, I don't like to promote different companies only because everybody got shared experiences, different experiences and stuff. So if it's something that I would ever say something about, it's somebody that I've already vetted. But I appreciate you sharing it with it. But those products. I just want to, and again, we're talking about working different types of working capital. What I wanted to just get you guys versed with the different products and stuff that are out there for you guys to take advantage of. Remember, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, check out the Small Business Funding one-on-one video, and also the Business Credit and Loans one-on-one video. I give a very, 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 in-depth explanation on different loan products, different ways the business get funded. But I just want to do a quick live feed to kind of just a refresher on. But definitely go check out both of those videos on Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel, go to the financing playlist, and you'll see everything that's on there as well. But invoice and factoring, again, that's just looking at, typically if you have, and most times it's based, if it's a solid company that you have that contract with, and they see that, it wouldn't necessarily be something that, maybe you just build on a one-time basis. But if you got a contract and everything's repeat with a solid company, a factoring company will come in, look at that. They'll get the invoice and pretty much will pay you maybe, let's say, 98% of whatever the invoice is. You say it's $1,000, you might get $980, and they may keep $20 or whatever for just a service fee for doing that. And again, because it's a established company, that's why they may keep it. The rates, and that's kind of usually what it is, somewhere in that neighborhood with doing it. So invoice factoring is another option. Another option is merchant cash advances. Merchant cash advances, similar to what happens in regards to with the factoring. More so, they're looking at just the credit cards. They have some kind of access to your credit card machines, and they're looking at a particular money that you have coming in on your credit card. And they'll usually a lender will look at the actual money that you have going into your bank, and they'll take they usually have their machines, and they're taking a percentage of your funding. They may fund you up front, and then on the back end, they may take a percentage of the money that's coming in on your credit card machines. And typically, you'll have a minimum amount of volume of transactions or money that going into your bank statement already off those credit card machines. But they may, again, give you a loan based off typical activity that you may have. Again, we're talking about different types of working capital. We're talking about merchant cash advances. But if you gas stations, retail stores, you're doing a lot of credit card swipes and things like that, those merchant cash advances, you can look them up. They'll usually give you the loan, but again, they're going to want to look at history that you've already, have that activity going to actually be in a position to pay them back, and they'll give you the loan. Usually, they have their own machines, and they'll be taking a certain percentage back as transactions go forward to pay that particular loan back. Again, those merchant cash advances. If you guys got any questions about any of these guys, feel free to ask now in regards to that. And the rate may vary in regards to that, but a lot of that stuff you can have no conversation on the front end. What is it going to cost me to for you to give me this money, and what for those particular products, they can let you know up front what they are. Another option, we're talking about different types of working capital. You have business credit cards. I know you guys see all the videos all the time, people telling you how to get business credit and all this other kind of stuff. Business credit cards are pretty good. It's pretty good to have, but also remember, guys, they're based off revolving credit too. most of the time the rate's going to be high as hell. With using them, it's a good option to have. And I think anybody in business, you should have them for the just in case situation. But I wouldn't necessarily be, so much so willy nilly about always getting credit cards. I always tell people when you see all these videos about it, and it's just a bit of advice. You see a ton of videos that'll tell people how to get business loans and business credit. But again, I say, and I talk about this all the time, they're never telling you about the cost to borrow. Typically, if you know you have personal credit challenges and you're looking to get access to capital for your business and things like that, the cost is going to be so high. So when you borrow the particular money, the rate that they're going to give you, that you can get, you do have companies that will give you 10, 20, 50, and $100,000 loans. They will, but the rate will be so damn high, it wouldn't be advantageous for you to get it because the actual particular thing that you will use the money for, i.e. equipment, i.e. building, i.e. More staff and whatever, the rate of return on that investment will still be lower than the cost of borrowing, the rate that you're borrowing at. Okay. And so it wouldn't make sense of being to your advantage to do those particular things. And a lot of times there are so many videos, again, they'll tell you how to get the money, but you got to pay the money back, guys. You got to pay the damn money back. And if you turn around and borrow $1,000 that you're paying, $400 a month on, we're just throwing out numbers, guys. But again, if paying $400 a month on the $1,000, and you probably say let's say $10,000, you're paying $400 a month. If you turn around and you use the investment that's only yielding you $200 or $300 a month, you're losing money. So it didn't make sense to do that. And a lot of times, guys, you got to, if you don't know how to, you need to get somebody that does know how to do that front end math to say, okay, listen, if I take this money and I spend it on this is what it's going to bring back. If you're not familiar with doing that, go get your damn accountant, go get your consultant that can do that for you. Because at the end of the day, we know the numbers is everything. The math is going to, be everything. If you turn around and you don't want to go through all that, so that's too much, and I just figure it out. Listen, I know it's going to work, man. I'm telling you, hey, ass in the po house. Going to pay those folks and let those people do the front end analysis for you and figure that stuff out for you. So you want to make sure that the cost of borrowing makes sense. And again, business credit cards are great to have because it's not when things happen. It's not if things happen. It's going to be when things happen. And when things happen, you do want to have, again, that access to capital, guys. Like I say, access to capital, guys. You always want to have access to capital, different things, okay? We got some alternatives to working capital, and that's one of the ones we always talk about on Mr. Short Dollar, those grants. You want to make sure that you have, those are different products out there with grants. We're talking about alternatives to working capital. Their grants are very, very great. I think a lot of people got spoiled in regards to grants, and also probably got the wrong ideas like what grants are and what grants do in regards to business funding. Most of the times that when people don't understand there's so many you out there looking to get that free money, and when you don't have access to, you get dejected. But grants should just be an option for funding, just like any other product. Sean Godfrey just responded. That's what I'm worried about, repayment and the length of the time repayment. Hey, definitely check out the video in regards to business finance and business loans on Mr. Short Dollar, Shana Godfrey. I'm sorry about that, Shana. I apologize about that. Please forgive me. Check out those videos. Again, guys, I would definitely tell you want to make sure you do the front end math in regards to that, because any loan you borrow, anything that you borrow, you can go to any kind of business loan calculator and put that in. And the other side of it is that whatever you're looking to get the money for, that's why business planning is so important. That's why make sure you do proper planning and not just planning with numbers and not planning with words. It's so important because once you do that, you can sit here and say that if I get this piece of equipment, I could produce more shirts. And if producing more shirts, I could, at this cost, it will yield this amount of money. You can sit there with the damn math in front of you to say, okay, this is what I'm paying back for the loan. This is how much money I'm making each month with this addition of new equipment, with this addition of new people. And you can just see if it's going to be advantageous for you to do that. If it's not going to be advantageous for you, don't get the damn loan. That's why it's so in credit. That's why it is important to get, just like the line of credit, the business credit cards, because they're there. You don't have to use them. You may come in to a situation where you may have to pay like an annual fee or something like that, but you're not on the hook. with doing that. So you want to just be kind of just be wise about everything and get yourself engulfed with as much information as possible about business loans and business credit. And also, guys, make sure you're talking to credible people. I love you guys looking at my channel. I love you guys following what we're doing. And I've been accounting over 20 years, but there's a lot of people that sell dreams to people that, really just that damn dreams. That's why I'm telling you guys, go set an appointment up with your local business banker so they can just tell you, hey, this is right, this is wrong. Most time you start going down that road, you start dealing with lawyers, accountants, the business bankers, they really can't lie because they can get themselves in trouble. Somebody on the internet selling the product and stuff with no credentials, they can lie to you because they have no recourse if things don't work out. There's no recourse for doing that. And at the end of the day, I know nobody don't have any damn money they can afford to lose for no damn reason whatsoever. So if you can put yourself in a position to talk to as many credible and reputable people as possible, I would really advise you to do that. Okay, so definitely want to try that. So we start looking at different alternatives. Again, the grants is one. Also, you have different Kickstarter, grassroots funding mechanisms like Indiegogo, the Kickstarters, GoFundMe, and things like that. Those are actually things you can post up and just say, listen, I just get this kind of bridge. I know you may have heard the term bridge loan, where just theoretically like a bridge, something get you tied you over from this point to that point while you're working things out. So, those GoFundMe, Indiegogo, Kickstarter. I know there's a couple more out there. Those are different options you can have when we start talking about, getting working capital to help you over a certain point. But again, like I said before, guys, those are just like grants. If you get it, cool. If you don't get it, just you try it. Those are kind of options that come along with it. So, we've come along with those in particular. If you got any questions, guys, make sure you put your questions into the chat. And we'll go from there with that. Let me see if I got anything. We'll make sure I ain't miss nobody. And Shannon was on the one that I've seen so far. They had a question. If you guys got any question about any kind of loan products, anything, please make sure just put it in the chat, and we'll go from there with that. Went over the GoFundMe grants. Let's see, I'm going through my notes here, everybody. Okay. With that said, guys, when we start talking about getting these working capital loans, guys, a couple things I want to run by you guys. When we start talking about just with business funding and things like that, a lot of times people have different apprehensions in regards to business funding and things like that because they may have certain issues or something that may be going on their personal side. Guys, typically, most business lenders or anything, they're going to want you to have somewhere near that 700 credit score. No ifs, ands, or buts. And if you don't have to, because most lenders will want to have some kind of personal guarantee or personal guarantor. That means there's some person, the loan or the actual product won't necessarily be on your credit report, but just say anything defaults, the lender can go to you in regards to pursue that. That's pretty much going to be standard on a lot of business loans, things like that. Now, you can go out there and do your Google search and try to find you a loan that doesn't require any kind of personal guarantor to do that. They are out there, but the rate is going to be high as hell. It's going to be high as hell to do that. It's not going to be advantageous for you to get those particular products. I'm going to be very straight up with you in regards to that because, again, the cost of borrowing going to be so high. Again, too many people get caught up in borrowing money and not understand the whole concept of lending, lending and how to handle lenders and how to make sure you make the math work out for you. Because, people a lot of times find comfort in words, more in words than they do in the numbers, which the numbers going to tell you the truth. But you don't let the numbers be a detractor from doing that. You just want to make sure you're doing everything the right way, okay? Because we don't want to be in business, just say we in business, and we lose every damn thing we have on the personal side. Because I want to have this business because I feel like, I can do better and I can go make money for myself. That's great. But you making decisions, incurring certain costs, taking on certain kind of debts and risks. Now you're losing everything on your personal side. So we don't even want to be doing that particular thing, okay? So you got to be very, very smart about that. Anybody got any? I'm trying to look, see. I got a question with regards with that. So I will tell you guys, the easiest thing, just a couple tidbits I want to bring up to you guys. A call your local SB, Google SBA or the local SBDC office, Small Business Development Center. Book you an appointment. Typically, they have maybe like a 2 or 3 week lag in regards to when the appointment is set and when they can come see you and get you a coach and just go through the whole process. Guys, federal tax dollars pay for it. And a lot of those classes information is free, but it's come from more of a vetted spot. Again, like I said, social media is great, YouTube's great, and everything like that. But again, we start going into business funding and lending. We want to make sure, again, we deal with the most credible and reputable people as possible. Not saying somebody else that hasn't went to school for it, they don't have any kind of credentials, they don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm not saying that. But I will say most of them don't have any kind of recourse. So if they mess up your money or they tell you the wrong thing or they take your money, you can't really do nothing. But if it's a CPA, if it's an attorney or something like that, you do have some kind of state board. So most time people ain't gonna be too inclined to mess up their current state or future earnings off, you know, 30, 40, $50 course. I'm just be honest with you. So, you most times they're going to actually shoot you the right, the correct information. And if they can't answer, they'll let you know they can't answer you. But you can feel more comfortable and sleep at night. You're dealing with people with that. Now, again, it may be a higher cost or a cost period because, we know YouTube is free. But again, we start talking about your livelihood and things like that. You just want to be smart about it before you embark on those particular tasks or anything, okay? So with that said, that's what I want to have a quick discussion with you guys in regards to different types of working capital. It's one of the different products, the different working capital products. Again, go to the business, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Check out a video for Business Credit and Loans 101 and also Small Business Funding 101. Check out both of those videos. You can go into the grants. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, go on the financing playlist, and you'll see that both of those videos on the financing playlist on Mr. Short Dollar from YouTube. A lot of great information. Now, with that said, I'm gonna open the floor up. Any of you guys got any questions about anything? You got your boy on right now. So if you got any questions about business funding, business operations, and anything like that, feel free to ask. You got any questions about those grants or anything, feel free to ask me right now while you got me on the line. And if you came in late and you really don't know what the hell we're talking about anything, go to and you are on any other platform outside of the YouTube channel, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, and check out the video in its entirety. And also take advantage of all the other great information we have on the YouTube channel. See this? Anybody on here? I guess nobody got any questions. But look, I'm finna get ready to wrap everything up. I got an early day in the morning. Got to go to elementary school and read to the kids tomorrow. I went to a middle school today. I was at Mara Middle School. Shout out to kids. I was there for their career day, talking to the kids at Mara Middle School today. That was pretty cool. It went real good, and I love dealing with young folks and with the fresh ideas, the fresh questions. But when I was there, when they came back from lunch, man, hell wrong, them little kids. I don't know if they fed them gunpowder. They came back in the classroom crazy as hell. So it went great in the morning. Second half, man, they was off the chisel. So, but it was a great opportunity. And tomorrow, again, I gotta go to the Edmonds Elementary, Edmonds. I think that's the elementary school I go to. I think I got to read to some second or third graders. So your boys always in the community, being active and giving back. And I would challenge anybody, if you have some kind of success, just a normal person, just want to give back instead of criticizing all the time, go out there and try to be active in the community and help out and everything. So we'll have a lot of fun tomorrow when we go to the school. What we got? Trivia Red Velvet Thomas. So your personal credit has to be somewhat good standing in order to apply for a business credit. So the question is again, excuse me. So your personal credit has to be somewhat in good standing in order to apply for business credit. Back in the game, everybody. Back in the game, everybody. So listen, the question was not. I apologize, everybody. The question was your personal credit has to be somewhat in good standing in order to apply for a business credit. Okay, the short answer is not to apply, not to apply, but to get approved. Now, with that said, you don't have the thing about it. They are different. You can have personal credit issues, but most of the time, a lender is going to want you to have a 700 score or 700 score to actually get approved for actually business loan. Some will approve you without that 700 score, but the rate will be high. So you just got to be realistic about that. So again, you don't have, it's not stopping you from applying, but attaining certain products. And they have business loans out there if you have challenge credit, but the rate is not going to probably be the most, it's not no problem. It's not going to be advantageous for you. Okay. So just keep in mind, it's not stopping you from applying and it won't stop you from acquiring, but acquiring the best product for you may be a little different. Okay. Shannon Turner said, not true. It's different tiers. If you build it right, you don't need your personal credit. Again, that's where we have to disagree. You don't need your personal credit, but a business loan. And we're talking about a business loan. We're not talking about a credit card or anything like that. If you know something different, share it with us. But at the end of the day, a lender, when you talk about a business loan, and we start talking about, we're talking about, what, just say Prime Plus. So let's say you got a business loan in that 7 to 8% range, maybe 9% range. We're doing it. I may be stretching with the 9, but let's say you got a business loan that's 7 to 8% range for a business loan, which is pretty much Prime Plus. We're doing it. They're gonna want a personal guarantor. They're gonna want a personal guarantor with a 700 score. You can get products out there. See, that's what we got to get. You got to take a definite look at. Don't get access to the money confused with it being a good product. Just because you can get $100,000 loan, that's not necessarily a good thing if you got this high ass rate and you're paying $1,500 a month. And if you can get $100,000, just say at prime plus regular prime rate, a little bit on top of 1 to 2% on top of it, and you're only paying $700-800 on it, which one do you want? Because again, at the end of the day, if you borrow the money and the actual thing that you borrowed it for, i.e. equipment, i.e. staff or whatever, if they can't make the return on investment that's higher than the cost to borrow, it's not going to be a good idea for you to do that. So again, don't get access confused. Don't get access confused with, being a good product or not. What I got, Pat Hands, I don't have personal credit issues. How can I use the EIN number? Well, when you get the business loan, that's why what Pat Hands just said, I don't have personal credit issues. However, can I use the EIN? The thing about it, that's why I want people to understand. When you get a business loan, it's going to be on the tax ID number. It's not going to be in your personal credit. It's not going to show on that. It won't, but they're still going to want to have a personal guarantor, the lender, to just in case if the business defaults, they're going to ask for that. Then you do have some that will say, hey, no, we don't. We're doing it, like I said again, but the rate's going to be high as hell. I'm just being honest with you with that. Let me see this. I want to make sure the Instagram go out. But I'm just telling you guys, again, people are actually going to, the rate is going to be high. It's not going to be an advantageous product for you, okay? So you just kind of keep that in perspective. So, to answer your question, Pat, and I hope I'm answering your question, Pat, it's not going to appear on your personal credit. If you got a business loan, but as a personal guarantor, they're going to pull your personal credit to see what your score is, just to see, okay, worst case scenario, is this somebody that we can look to just in case if it defaults? Now, they're not necessarily going to look at just how if you may have if it's a situation like an apartment, that do you make 3 times the rent in order to qualify for it on the personal side? Now, they ain't gonna look at it in depth for that, but they just want to make sure that this person, has some kind of capacity to pay on something. And depending on what the loan amount is or your credit situation, remember they may require some kind of capital. Okay, so just a couple things to look at, guys. Two things you look at it from a personal loan and also from a business loan. Personal loan, the lender typically look at your income and credit. Usually, if one of those are off, the loan gets denied. Business credit, they look at your income, your credit, collateral, experience, and the industry. Again, it's income, credit, collateral, experience, and the industry. Usually, if two of those are off, they're denied a loan. Now, again, guys, you got nightstand credit, over the gangster credit places, all these damn places out here that can give you money, they will. But again, guys, look at it. I don't even say look at the fine print. Just because they give you money, remember, look at the rate. And remember what I said, guys. We also want to be looking at the math part of everything. Also, guys, we want to make sure we're getting products that's going to be advantageous for us to use. If it doesn't make sense at the math side of it, we need to be very wary of it, guys. Be very wary of it. Remember, why would you borrow something at 10, 15, 20%, and the actual item that you're going to be taking doing, the equipment, the people, they're only going to give you a 5 or 6% return on investment? It don't make sense. And if you have any challenges, remember, if you have any challenges in understanding on how to calculate that particular those particular things, go pay somebody to help you out to do it for you or teach you how to do it. I got videos just like this all on Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, how to calculate break-even analysis. I do cost-benefit analysis, all that kind of stuff. We're doing it. You have to make sure that there are different math equations in regards to, just say if you're in a retail business, you're in the actual food or services business, production and manufacturing. Those people in that, they use a lot of different ratios and calculations. So you want to make sure that you got the right people in place, if you don't know what you're doing, to help you add some of this stuff up. Pat Hand asked, so to be clear, 7 to 8% is good. Yes, where you got to look at it. What is prime right now? 5%? You can Google what prime is. Just say what prime. We ain't gonna do that. Let's say prime rate. Prime rate. Okay, because Pat asked just then, it's 7 to 8% is good. Okay, so right now, when the hell is going to be 8, because prime rate today is 8.25. Prime rate right now is 8.25. So we know it's just say 1.5 over. So pretty much you're going to get 9%. So I can tell you that right now. When the hell you're going to be able to get that right now. I can tell you that right now. As of today, and this was effective May 4th, 2023, Bank of America prime rate, 8.25. So so let me look at that. Just let's Google it again. See if we can Google it again. Prime rate today. And prime rate, what we mean by prime rate, that's the number, that's the rate, the cost of borrow that the Federal Reserve gives out. Now you guys have seen pretty much a lot of videos. What is that? That's Jerome Powell. Yeah, Jerome Powell. He's the chairman of the Federal Reserve. They regulate the whole monetary system in the U.S. government. That's what the Federal Reserve does. And every so often he comes out and gives out the different or the interest rate. So that's the prime rate that they have. And typically people borrow at prime plus. So if it's at 8%, I'm going to make sure I'm giving you guys the right information. So current prime rate is 8.25, effective May 15, 2023, 8.25. So if we say that most lenders may say 1.5 or 2 points over, so you can just add that to it. So you're looking at 1.75, that's 9.7%. They're at 9.75%. So we clear with that, Pat, you ain't gonna get nothing at 7-8%. So just so we're on the same page with that. And I'm glad you asked that question, so I can actually pull up and give you guys the right number. So you're looking to be borrowed at 9.75 or 10%. So every day rate you're gonna get, it's gonna be high. This is what's going on. Remember, we had the video where we talked about the whole reason why rates go up. Rates go up to curb inflation. Because rates go up, the cost of borrowing is too high. And in respect to that, they cause less people to spend money, which in turn drops prices down. That's the whole point of. And if you need a more in-depth explanation, you can go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, where I broke down in regards to what inflation is, in regards to how the Federal Reserve regulates those regulates the interest rates and the cost and everything in the U.S. economy. So I did a pretty good breakdown in a PowerPoint presentation in regards to that. So it behooves you as an individual and as a business owner to be very, very familiar with different lending products and different practices. So that's a good question, Pat, that you just have. What about credit unions? It's the same thing. Everybody's still going on the same thing. The Federal Reserve regulating it. So in regards to that rate, if that's what you're asking, Pat, in regards to the credit unions, the lenders are the lenders. Everybody may have different restrictions that or different ways that they may do it. But anytime you deal with any kind of regulated lenders, they're going to actually be still going on the same basis in regards to what the prime rate to borrow. Now, some of them may be a little bit more lenient than others. Some may be more focused on credit score, some may be more focused on, collateral or experience. But that's just the only determining factor. But everybody's still gonna be going on as far as the rates, still gonna be prime plus. So that's it. Period. We dealing with any kind of thing that's regulated by the government. And you have some ones that are non-traditional, just say hard money loans, things like that, personal private bankers, personal investors, and stuff like that. But that's not what we're having that conversation on those. We're talking about right now some one-on-one stuff. If you're not, you actually new in business or even currently in business, and you're trying to find out ways to actually stay afloat and learn about different products and stuff, go to the YouTube channel, check out Mr. Short Dollar, and look at that financing playlist and check out the different products. Okay, it's a shame the guy for ask. So what loans do you suggest is a reasonable rate that you are familiar with? Well, pretty much the ones we talk about, all of them are a reasonable rate. Again, we know right now the loans are still going to be over pretty much over 9%, because the prime rate is 8.25. I don't mean to sound funny, but reasonable kind of like a great word. It's going to be high, especially in relative terms of what we've been seeing for the past couple of years. The rate's going to be high regardless. So just so we clear on that, it's just there's no the 3, 4, 5% from a couple of years ago. That's gone right now. Again, so theoretically, until prices start dropping, especially in the real estate market, until prices stop dropping, the rates ain't gonna drop. The rates gonna keep going up, because that's the whole thing about it. Because the price is still going up, people still buying houses that are overpriced, and to curb the inflation with that's why the rate going up. And then once purchasing slows down, that coincides starts with dropping the rates. So that's the whole point of having the rates go up. So as of right now, it's just something to keep in mind. But what I will say, guys, again, remember what I said on the front end, what we want to do, we want to make sure we have them appointments set up with our business bankers. Go set them at three different lenders. Introduce yourself, let them know who you are. And they can let you know different products they may have. Because like I just said before, you may not necessarily need a loan. You may just want, now again, a credit. We talking about loans now. We brought up credit cards. We brought up invoice finance, factoring. We talked about merchant advances, even with the lines of credit. So remember, you may not necessarily need $100,000. You may want to have access to $100,000. You can get $100,000 line of credit, and you may just need to, borrow, use $3,000 up. So you have access to $97,000, but you're only paying the interest and payments on the $3,000 that you borrowed. So there are different products out there. That's why you want to go have a conversation with your business banker to share your vision, let them know what's going on, and see what products they have. Do not want to just go borrow damn money when you need it. Relationships, everything, and go talk to several different banks, because one bank there. Because I'm not a proponent of what's the best bank. The banks vary depending on what you're doing. A person that's doing online retail sales may not necessarily have a good experience with this one particular bank, because they don't necessarily process your transactions in a 24-hour basis. Another bank may. Some banks may not necessarily have an interface with your website like another bank may. Some banks don't, when you have checks or different, depending on how most of your money comes in, depending on how they process certain things, that may vary. Okay, every bank doesn't use a universal system in regards to their operation. So that's why I say there's no such thing as the best bank. You want to make sure that whatever business that you're in, be it retail, be it construction, be it any kind of sales or whatever, that the bank that you deal with can actually service the needs that you have. Every bank ain't the same. I got different banks. I mean, it helps with their local bank here in 2023. I can't link up Zelle to them. So you're talking about, I'm asking them, hey man, can I link my Zelle? But we don't have that access to Zelle with our business banking accounts. I'm like, this 2023, and something that's just that simple. You would think everybody would have some kind of interface with any kind of third-party transaction or piece like that, but they don't have that. So that's why I say there's no such thing as the best bank. Is the bank that'll be the best for the actual products and services that you're doing. And so that's why you got to make sure you have any conversations, because we can't get tired with the big names, Bank of America, Chase, whatever. You may just need to just have a little simple online account that doesn't charge you anything. Then what will be the drawback? We can call Bank of America, we can call Chase anytime, get somebody on the phone, just like that. But if we got such and such, online account, they don't charge any fees and stuff like that. That's cool, but they have no human interaction whatsoever. So if you have an issue or a problem, you can't talk to anybody. You got to email somebody, and somebody probably get back with you in 72 hours. But you got a damn 10-minute problem that you can't wait 72 hours to get answered. Those are the kind of things you need to be looking for. But if you have an online bank with no fees and you pretty much just depositing damn money, and you're not going to really be pulling money from it or whatever, you just letting it stack over there and it's getting a rate, you may not mind not having access to, quick customer service because you're not doing anything in it. So that's why, again, it varies. And that's why you got to be, doing all that front end work, looking at the different banks. So that's why I say I'm never a big proponent of what's the best bank to do certain things. You got to remember the best bank for you. So that's why you got to do your homework, because you can go into a situation assuming that every bank is going to do the same thing, especially for what you need. And you can be in a situation where you can't even get a hold of your damn money because, and I'm telling you guys, all this stuff I'm bringing up, I done damn, messed up and did this stuff. That's why I can just share this with you. You can just, again, you may have a 10-minute problem, but you can't get, anybody contact with you for, 72 hours. And it happens a lot because the world is flat. We're in the information age. We got everything at our fingertips. So, it's nothing to turn around. Man, I forgot that. To turn around and miss out or pick certain products because we have access to it, but they don't fit our needs and what we're trying to do in business or anything like that. Okay. That was a good question. Anybody got any other questions and stuff? You got your boy online. Again, I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Out himself, the not live feed. We're talking about different types of working capital. Anybody got any other questions, anything like that? What we're talking about, the working capital, loan products, anything like that? Guys, I'm not going to endorse in particular like a bank or anything with doing it, but that's why I say I want you to do your homework to find out what would be the best for you in regards to different products and different things that are out there that you guys can take advantage of. Let's see. Nobody got any questions? Guess everybody got it going on with the money and everything. Let's see. So we have that. Again, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Once again, make sure you go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Let me make sure I ain't missed nothing. See if anybody got any questions. Please put your questions in the chat. Pat and Shayna, I hope I answered your question. Please let me know if I did or didn't. Please, if you can, if I answered your question for you, I hope I did. Trevor Red, please let me know if I answered your question or not. I hope I answered your question. I think I did, but just let me know if I did or didn't or anything. Okay, yes, okay, cool. Glad to hear that. All right. I want to boogie your name. Okay, cool, Shayna. Cool. All right. What's this? Is it Sick Dog Woods? That's pretty clever. When applying for business credit card, use your EIN number, right? It's short answer, yes, but it depends what the lender wants. The lender may say, listen, we'll say, and typically most of them going to ask for the tax ID number. They're going to ask for the EIN or tax ID number to see, for the business entity, and it's not going to hit your personal credit. But again, they still may want to run your personal credit card. So when we start talking about credit cards, guys, remember, revolving debt, the rate's probably they ain't necessarily going to be the lowest. The biggest thing we look at credit cards is they're getting access to capital, right? So we want to make sure, remember, we don't get credit cards. I'm not saying you are a slick dog, we want to make sure we understand the whole purpose of it. But that's why I do want you guys to go to the Business Funding 101 and the Business Loan Product, Credit and Loans Product 101 videos from Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. So you got a good understanding, because I did a whole breakdown on the different loan products, but I also gave examples from a mathematical standpoint, the pros and cons for each one of them. So make sure you go check both of those videos out. Go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, look on the financing playlist, and check out those information there. So again, they're more likely they're going to ask for the EIN number. And it's not going to show on your credit report, but they may want to pull your credit report just to see where you at with everything. Again, so just kind of keep that in mind with doing it, but it won't show on your personal credit card. So you will use the tax ID number. Let me know if I answered your question with that. Let me see where we Okay, Pat Hands. When applying for a loan, do all companies ask for a business plan? No, they don't. Depending on who the lender is and stuff. And typically, with the business plan, the actual ones. Okay, now you're talking to somebody that got SBA loan. This is all pre-pandemic with all that. We're talking about when you get an SBA loan, not anything like say again with the pandemic. You're talking about a big, thick 40, 50 page application where they go through and they want to see those, we call in the accounting word pro forma statements where they're using projections and things like that. We're doing it. Most lenders, they don't necessarily want to have the business plan, but I will tell you guys again, had them be very serious. A lot of stuff can be skipped when you have relationships. So when you go actually again, I wouldn't make the first time I go talk to my business banker, I'm asking for money. The first time I go meet with my business banker, I will go have a conversation. You can go to set an appointment with Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Neighborhood Credit Union, such and such state and family, local bank, whatever. Go set an appointment with them. Go have conversations with them. If the person working in there is, a butthole and they're rude and stuff like that, they helped you out. Now you don't want to deal business with them. When it's time to go get money, get access to capital, you want to be dealing with people that's about their business and being serious and being polite and professional. So we want to do all that stuff on the front end with doing it. So that's okay. Thanks, my brother. Sight dog. Hey, I'm sorry, but that sight dog is how you say it. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Sorry I mispronounced, but thanks for tuning in. And I hope I answered your question. But definitely, guys, remember, business is all about relationships. I'm gonna tell y'all the right way to do it. I ain't gonna give you no gimmick away and everything. Because like I said, I know there are a ton of videos out there that tell you, you can apply for this, you can get this loan and get that loan, and you apply for it, and you will get that damn loan. But when you look at that damn statement and you look at the damn money you got to pay back, it ain't gonna make no damn sense. How many times have you seen anybody that puts a video out there and tell you that you can get this loan and apply for this credit, you can get it? They tell you that. And like I really believe you can get it. But not one damn time have you seen any video where they tell you the rate and how much money your payments and stuff going to be. You'll never see it. That slick stuff that's going to get you in them bad situations. So why the hell you going to put yourself in that situation? Right? And what'll happen, you keep starting over and over and over and over and over again because you getting this money at this high ass rate and you can't pay it. Then you got to close this bid. Then you got to get another one. Then you got to you don't want to go through all that stuff. You'll never get it in damn well, okay? Just make sure we're going to do everything the right way. Tons of videos on the YouTube channel where we talk about it. Hell, it's free information too. Okay, so make sure you go to the YouTube channel and check that out. Okay, Shayna Godfrey asked, does the revenue of your business impact your chances of getting a business loan? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. And it depends. You can have a new loan where they can just say, look, they know it's a startup and they're just going based off the projections or whatever, and they just give you a loan based off that. Or you can be a business that's been in business for a couple of years, and they're looking at it like, look, and that's why, man, that's a good question. I'm glad you even brought this up. I'm glad you even brought this up, Shane. Okay, guys, if you've been in business for a couple of years, just say you're at year 2, 3, 4, whatever, you're ready to expand, and you're looking to, just say, look, now I'm going to get a loan and expand my business. The first damn thing they're going to ask for, they're going to want some projections, but they're going to want to see your damn tax return. So you, if on the other side, you weren't thinking about it. Like, shit, I've been trying to get these refunds. I want to sit here and write all this damn stuff off. I'm writing every damn thing off so I can get this big old fat refund, and I'm doing all this other kind of stuff. So you provide the tax return where they look at the 1065, the 1120, they look at the Schedule C. And you saying, I've been in business, I've been making this particular money. In your mind, you're thinking that. But you went on the slick stuff, you writing all this damn stuff off. You got this big ass business loss because you want to get this fat refund. So now the bank is looking like, why the hell I'm gonna give you a loan? You have showed that you have been a professional of losing money for 2 or 3 consecutive years. Why the hell we're gonna give you some money so you can lose that too? So that's why it's very, very important you guys understand when you file any damn tax returns, the correlation, because the tax return is the verification that the lenders use. So that question that just asked, there was a great question, Shane, in regards to the revenue of your revenue impact your business. The revenue is confirmed off the tax return. So if you're writing all this shit off, I'm sorry, cussing guys, I'm former military, but if the revenue is showing the actual tax return is showing a loss, That's what they're going to go by. That's what they're going to go by. So you got to understand that when you see, like I say, a lot of information is given out on all the things you can write off, all these different kind of things you can do from a tax perspective. That's what the lender verifies everything off. Just like if you're self-employed and you want to get a mortgage or a car or something like that, they're going to look at those previous year's returns. That's the verification that the lender uses to verify that you made this particular money. Now, you theoretically may have made a lot of money, but you wrote all this stuff off. But now you got these losses showing. Yeah, you did have $500,000 in sales, but then you got this negative $20-some thousand because you didn't want to have to pay no taxes on the actual money you made because you consumed that. But now it's coming to bite you in the butt because you can't get approved for a loan. So guys, always kind of keep that in mind when we start doing our taxes. That's the use that when you start getting business loans, that's typically what they verify. The business loans off of is those tax returns. So it's one thing to sit here and say, well, hey, I can give a business plan to show the actual money that I made. That's cool because the business plan is also going to give those projections. I mean, year 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, this is what we're going to do. It increases by 5%, 10%, or whatever, however you want to do that. But the actual tax return is the confirmation. They did make this money. They are a viable living business. They're making money. So just kind of keep that in mind. What we got here, Shannon Godfrey, taxes has been a killer. No big refund, especially here in California. No, I get that. But I'm just talking about when you file your tax return with the IRS, the lenders will use that as a verification that this is the money that you made. Just kind of keep that in mind because a lot of times people don't think about that with doing it. I'm an accountant by profession, and I try to, have these conversations with customers and stuff. Because at the end of it, we're going to go off your financial statements that you gave us. Now, if we did it, we know what the numbers are. But you turn around and give me something, hey, that's what it is. Fine. When we report it, and you can sit here and tell me, listen, these are the aspirations we're going to have in the next couple of years. And I can be honest with you, like, look, man, I don't think too many people are going to let you borrow some money for you to damn lose. Because again, you show you pretty proficient at losing money. So why the hell are they going to give you any money? So those are kind of things that I think a lot of times people miss out on in regards to business. That was a great point to bring out because something I don't really get a chance to discuss a lot of times. I've talked about it a couple times on the shows before, but I don't get a chance to talk about it enough because so many people be consumed about getting their damn refunds and everything, but then they business owners, and then the point comes when they want to expand, they have no proof of it. The revenue number is showing, but that bottom line number is a negative number. And, you have no way of even showing that you have potential of paying them back. Now, again, a new loan, you may can get approval for, but again, that number can vary because that's based off projections. But if you actually have a viable business going on already that you're making money with, it may not in your mind, like, look, I'm already making money, so I can be able to get approved for this loan. But what you've been reporting has been something totally different. So it may come back and bite you in the butt. Okay, Psych Dog asks, you said earlier something about linking your business account to your website. How do you do that? What I mean by linking your business account, the question was, I mentioned earlier about linking your business account to your website. What I meant more so, just say if you have a Stripe, intermediary, just say Stripe, PayPal, Venmo, things like that. All banks aren't on the same process in regards to just say the actual how they'll be their intermediary. Some don't. When a transaction may come through Stripe, and Stripe say it may take a day or two to process, all banks don't post in 24 to 48 hours. So you want to make sure that we have that intermediary because you might not necessarily have a Bank of America link or Wells Fargo link on your website. You may have that intermediary, i.e. Stripe, Venmo, PayPal, whoever that intermediary that you may have. I'm talking about the money going from them to them. Okay, that's why you got to make sure you're looking at it. It depends, especially if you have a retail business or something like that, where you're actually doing those processes, depending on how you're doing it, how it's depositing your account. It can vary from bank to bank. Most of your bigger banks, they're equipped to do certain things with that, but you got costs and fees associated with that. And then some banks don't necessarily, link up with certain lenders. That way you gotta do your research. Not with certain lenders, I apologize. Certain processing companies. So you want to make sure you do your homework to find out on the front end. So PayPal is better for that. It depends. That's what site dog asked us, PayPal better for it depends. Because again, you want to make sure that again with the PayPal linking back into the bank, you want to make sure that you can find out how fast that your actual bank can take the fees that are processed from PayPal. Because sometimes they can say, hey, this come in 24 48 hours, we're doing it. Some may not necessarily, banks may not be responsible with dealing with third party processing companies. Okay, so that's why you just got to have those conversations. You would think everybody can do that, but that's not the case. Your major banks, your big ones, like I said, the Bank of America, Wales, and stuff like, they're more than likely going to be able to do that. But again, it depends on what you're trying to do. That's why it depends on what type of business you are. That's why you want to have a conversation with the bankers and let them know what you're doing. Now, someone may be trying to say some mumbo jumbo here and there. These are the products that we have and things like that. This is the best account for you to do. That may happen. I mean, they can happen with anything. But that's why I say it just behooves you to be on the front end, because regardless if you're using PayPal, Stripe, just trying to think a couple of them off the top of my head. Venmo, I think PayPal bought Venmo bought PayPal. It's the same company. Cash App, Zelle, however you want to, use it. You want to make sure that you have those conversations. Said with a credit union on a music label, I'm gonna be honest with you. Most credit unions aren't going to have a lot of processing systems set up like a lot of commercial banks with doing it. So I definitely would have that conversation with them with doing that, and also go even just just be use a little due diligence and have a conversation with a couple other small business banks with doing it. Most credit cards, credit unions. I apologize. Most credit unions, they aren't as receptive to a lot of your business banking needs from a transactional standpoint. If you have just processing this money, money getting deposited, things like that, yeah, they'll be able to do it. But we start talking about being able to move money at a certain pace, getting processed, interfacing with those third party processing things. It may be a little different. So go have those conversations, okay? And like I said, just never assume that your bank can do the things that you want to do. Never assume that. Had a conversation with your business banker, okay? Just do that. Because no, my pleasure with that, because again, that's something that a lot of times you don't know until it happens. This is what I do, so I'm a little bit more versed with that. We're dealing with banks and everything, so but definitely want to make sure you have a conversation, and also do a little due diligence, try to talk to a couple other banks, because even if your current credit union does certain things for you, it may be a different lending institution that can do it a lot better. So just kind of take some time to try to do the research with that. Okay, cool. Let me see. Anybody else got any questions? No, I ain't. Everybody good? Everybody good? Big shout out with my son Will B. He had his music recital this morning at the concert band. And no matter how many times you hear it, this is my fourth son. No matter times you hear it, man, those little kids, man, they really F up Mary Had a Little Lamb. And I just shoot. I ain't know how bad it could get, but he's a sixth grader, but the actual seventh, eighth grade concert band, they were pretty good. But those little sixth graders, man, they just jacked up Mary Had a Little Lamb, man. And I thought it was bad just listening to my son practicing at home, but listening to them as a damn group, shoot, Lord have mercy. But big shout out to the kids today at the music concert. Had a good time dealing with them. Also, happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and everything. I try to give a shout out on social media this weekend and stuff like that. What's happening, Travis? Appreciate you tuning in, brother. My man Travis Murphy. Thanks for tuning in. Happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I hope you guys had a great Mother's Day. We're still trying to catch up with a lot of stuff we're doing. We've been putting out with tax season stuff, and the Mr. Short Dollar tax business course. It's already live and running, but we're gonna do more advertising and everything like that over the next week or so. Once we get everything caught up with that, I'm 22 years in the game in tax preparation business, and the course just pretty much teach you if you want to start your own tax business, how to go about it from square one with doing that. We got a couple other things coming down the pipe as well with that, but With that said, does anybody got any questions? Your boy finna get ready to wrap it up. Been running my mouth for over an hour and stuff. Now, listen, guys, if there's anything that I did miss or something come on your mind later on, remember, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Okay, well, regardless what platform you're looking at, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Mr. Short Dollar, put in the search. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can see this video in its entirety. Also, we got over 700 videos on the YouTube channel. Over 700 videos on the YouTube channel. We got an active grants playlist with over 150 grant opportunities. But again, like I said, the videos I was talking about, the small business funding and the small business funding and business credit and loans 101, small business funding 101, and business credit and loans 101. Go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Go to the financing playlist, and you'll see those videos. But again, we got a grants playlist, we got an entrepreneur playlist, we got the business playlist, we got a personal finance playlist. I got my different speeches when I've been out to the different venues, or schools, or whatever. All that stuff's on there. So a lot of great information for you guys to take advantage of on Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube and stuff. So my tide brain starting to take over, man. So real quick, what we got, Pat here is a notary public, notary public high risk in regards to the NICS. I'm not for sure. To be honest with you. I'm not for sure. I don't think a notary is a high risk business field. I just think that just notary is probably just like anything else. You got to put a lot of time into doing it. I don't necessarily know if anybody if a lender be quick to give you a loan to be a notary, because you have to justify what the hell you're gonna need the money for. Because at the end of the day, the notary, if you just need the money for, I'm thinking advertising, because even if you're mobile, you just move from place to place, but you wouldn't necessarily need brick and mortar or anything like that. But you just got to be able to justify. And that's the same thing we talk about with the grants. If you can say, oh, well, this is what I need, I need to borrow $10,000 and this is what I'll be able to do it. And if I do get the $10,000, I can turn around and make such and such back and everything. So, but that's just, you got to think about it. Would a notary public be considered a business consultant? I don't know. I don't think so. But I don't know the difference off the top of my head. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know the different NAICS code to do it. So, I don't know off the top of my head. Google it. Notary NAICS code. No, it's 54112, Office of Notaries. That's the NICS. Is it right here? 54112, Office of Notaries. So I don't think it'd be considered a consultant. If you're looking for the NAICS code, and I don't know if that's what you were asking, but no, it's not considered a consultant for that. They have its own NAICS code to do that. So I don't know if that's what you're asking, Pat, but they have their own separate one by themselves. But again, when we start talking about getting lending and funding for any type of business, you just got to be able to be realistic about what you're trying to do, and have some kind of justification for doing it. You have some businesses that you're gonna need loans and funding for doing it. You can justify it and like, okay, it makes sense. Then some of them, like, you don't necessarily need to do that because it doesn't have a lot of startup costs with doing it. And notary is one of those particular business where you can make a lot of money as a notary because you don't have a lot of costs. Remember, guys, we're looking for the different vantage points. The employee is looking at the money that the business is making. The owner is looking at the actual cost that they got to incur to make money. So if you actually own a notary business, you're looking at it. I don't really have just probably state registration, get your stamp or whatever. The only cost I'm thinking that a notary gonna have is the advertising and gas. Outside of that, you don't really have any with doing it. So the money you'll need probably be really based off of whatever trying to platform you want to do to promote it. And I don't necessarily know. I mean, what you gonna a couple $100 every month to Google ads, with doing it, because you don't necessarily need it in social media or anything like that. But you can put so much, a couple $100 in Google ads, put that in a such and such circumference of your office or your home base. Start off there. You can do it on a bigger scale if you want to, but if you just say, listen, I want to be a mobile notary in a 10-mile circumference of my particular home, you can do that, put in your Google ads, and keep it moving from there. Okay, what we got? Flo W said, I just received my notary book. have to take the class. Cool. I think it's a great business to get into because again, you don't have the actual startup costs. You just gotta, you just gotta have your hustle on. You gotta have your hustle on, be able to move with doing it. But I was just in more so just kind of go from the model of staying in a certain circumference of my actual home office with doing that. Guys. Y'all know I charge $210 an hour for consulting, so y'all got all this stuff for free. So I love talking to you guys. So if you have questions now, go on and ask them because when we get off here, that's when that invoice come out. So definitely take advantage of it. But I think a good model for doing that. Just stay around in that because it's a good business to do. You just gotta have in your head that you're gonna hustle. You gotta have in your head you're gonna hustle and try to get grow your business up and get it up from there. That's all. And that's just like any other business. A lot of stuff seems good on the front end because you're like, hey, man, I see potential. I can make this particular money. But when you get out there, you're like, damn, man, this much stuff and the money getting slow, things like that. Because a lot of times you have conversation with people and they're doing certain things. They'll always tell you the good part. They'll never tell you the bad part. Then when you get into it, then they go back and they start taking the truth. They lost money. They didn't really do that. They were just lying to you. They just wanted to make it sound good because they was happy they had the business. That shit happen all the time. So you just got to make sure you do a lot of front end homework for yourself. So you don't get in the hole, looking at somebody else where they're telling you what they're doing, but they're not telling you the cost they got to incur with that particular business. So just kind of, behooves you guys to make sure you're doing that. Okay. Anybody else got a question? Hey, congratulations again with that Flow W. Somebody Coke Zero, get to the end, man. It tastes like damn brown water. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got anything else? That's it. Everybody good to go? Okay, cool. No questions, anything? Let's see, man. Be checking all the platforms. Remember, guys, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Again, Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Take advantage of the 700 videos. Mr. Short Dollar, we'll talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, investing. 700 videos on YouTube channel, 150 videos, active grant playlist. Also, covering business operations, business management, business finance. Definitely go check that out and get a chance. Okay, cool. Pat just came back in. I'm a notary at this time, but I want to do. I want to know: do the banks frown on doing business at your home? No. Again, it just depends on what you're doing. I mean, you can't have a brick and mortar. I mean, I don't necessarily know if it makes sense to have a brick and mortar notary business. So it just depends. So it really depends on what you're doing. So the bank's not really tripping on if you have a business based at home. There was a question was asked. I'm a notary, but I want to do. But I want to know that the banks frown on doing business at home. And the short answer is no. But it depends on what you're trying to do. You're trying to do a car dealership. You're trying to do retail and things like that. Now, from an online perspective, that may be okay. But when you start talking about holding inventory, they may have some questions with that. We're doing it, but I don't necessarily know if there'll be a holdup with doing it. So, no, the answer to your question is no, but it got to make sense, right? Some things can't be, the question may come up, especially when we start manufacturing, production, and things like that. But you can be an accountant, you can be an insurance person based off at the house and stuff like that. But again, remember, with loans, we're gonna start asking what you need the money for, right? Well, I want to do advertising, I want to do this, I want to do that, and eventually, so those kind of things can come up. I will tell you this: a lot of times, it increases the scrutiny when you got an office because just taking myself for perspective. Once you start, say you got a loan, you get a loan, and you got a actual office building, they want to see all kind of damn lease agreements. If it's ending soon, some kind of confirmations. It increases a lot of stuff. Not a good and a bad way with anything, but it offers a whole nother damn dynamic if you do have a commercial lease spot with doing it. But short answer, no. But I will say this, and it goes back to the conversation, guys. Listen, and it's good when you're having this conversation tonight. I'm always gonna tell people to go to the people that I love talking. I love giving you guys information. Guys, I do this for a living, but I ain't always right. The best person to give you the damn answer is the person that's giving you the money, because you can have 5 different banks and all five have different philosophies. Now, certain rules are certain rules. Some things are just not going to change regardless, right? Because why banks are regulated, right? So some things is going to be standard. When we brought up the prime plus as far as rate, like that's probably going to be the ceiling. I mean the floor. So anything going to be that or up in regards to actually the rates with borrowing anything. But in regards to different things that may put weight on with certain things, being location, just say location, industry, things like that, they may, okay, cool. Location wasn't one of them, but it may be an issue with that. So just kind of keep that in mind. I would definitely let the people that actually trying to borrow the money from, let them tell you, let them tell you this is what we want to see. Let them be the ones that kind of give you the response for that. So definitely, guys, call your local business banker and have some conversations with that. If you're just coming in again, I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. You can check this video in its entirety. Again, we're talking about different types of working capital, but we went all had a lot of great conversation about other products and other things as well. But definitely go to the YouTube channel and check that out and take advantage of the other great information on now. So let me see if I see any questions. But I get ready to wrap this up. I think that's everything. I think we got everybody. But look, had a great conversation with you guys tonight. We're going to be doing it more often and everything. Like here, we got a lot of information. I think last live we did the show Thursday night at Misfit Studio and everything. We'll be back on my other YouTube channel, Change the Lives, this week and everything. But I probably do a live tomorrow morning or something like that. Now, I appreciate you, Pat. I appreciate you tuning in and stuff like that. But guys, if you are following us on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, make sure you go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. That is the main vehicle. Go there and subscribe to the channel and take advantage of all the great information that is there. Listen, y'all be safe out there. It's gonna be hot out there this summer. I'm down here in Georgia. I seen some of them sundresses out there. The program today. I'm looking at my son, but it wasn't too bad looking at the teachers and the mamas as well. So I know we're gonna have a great summer out there today, guys. I know we're gonna have a great summer out there, but I want you guys to make sure you stay hydrated and be safe out there. Be safe out there. It's like this is the first year since the pandemic. Like everybody's kind of cautiously coming out of it, but like now everybody back out and stuff like that. So we need to make sure we have a safe and fun summer this year. And I want you all, guys, just enjoy yourself and make sure you're looking at Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Okay. Love you all. Be safe. And I'll talk with you soon. Okay.